And action. You know those little movie scene clippies, whatever the fuck those things are called, the boards that have like the scene number on it? God, those would be helpful. Doing something that people do that seems like a good idea would be helpful. With Cosmos, bitch. Just another night of fun stuff. Didn't sleep. I slept from like 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We are unintelligent, uninformed, and not healthy. We are fishing. We might fish with flies. We might fish with lures. We might fish musky flies. I don't know. I cannot say for sure. I have seen some fish rising, which to the layman, to the lay person, means that there are trout eating little bugs on the surface. I brought some little magnets and super glue so that I can get some tools set up here. I'll just go ahead and forget about that until I get home and start fishing. It is cold. Colder, I should say. I'm gonna put my boat plug in. It's like 40 something degrees. Yeah, a couple gusts of winds that, a couple gusts of wind. Winds? Plural? The winds. Huh. Gusts of wind, but simply the wind. I guess those are different. So there have been some gusts. Check this out. This is a tackle box from the gentleman at the what's that? Look at that. Look at that little treble hanging off the back. Let me talk to you guys about hook gaps, okay? That is a tackle box from the dude at a waste convenience station. Damn, dude, I'm all jammed up. Where you can take household goods or... Oh, Jesus. We're in. Anyways, I used my boat because I had a bunch of shit I needed to throw away, just piling up from move and other stuff. So I was unloading it. Unloading my trailer, which again, just using my boat as a trailer. Quite effective. Obviously getting some love. I want to put either the teak or the gray sea deck. I went with the cheap option, like the Amazon special. It had good reviews. I mean, it's from a functionality standpoint, certainly does its job. But I don't like the diamond pattern. it holds too much water and dirt, and I know, but Ellis, when you care about dirt, it's just, I do, but I have to pick my battles. So mostly I don't, because I find other things to be more important. So if I can get something to minimize the shit that I, you know, kind of worry about, but not really, then I don't have to worry about it at all. And one of the reasons why dirt on a jet boat, for example, is something to not worry about is like, what the fuck are you gonna do? My buddy Clay gets in my boat, and this is somewhat early on. And for the record, yeah, I do feel like a doofus wearing a fucking camera on my head and talking to myself. I am confident. Buddy Clay gets in my boat a couple years back, parking like a jackass, and he goes, "You can tell this boat gets fished in the drift boat." And I was like, "What do you mean?" Like, no, it's a good thing. You get in some guide boats and they're all clean. I was like, alright. Fucking can't do shit about it either way. I could clean it every single time, but whew, I saw a wake coming off that bank. You'll get caught up in the top water. Top water. From Mattel. Boy, that did not take long. We are so far gone. What with me being tired and all, I was like, oh god, I might be getting sick. I have trips the next 3 days. Shout out Bart. Guy's an animal. Tomorrow is never made good by focusing on some bullshit about today. That's some, I feel like from his buddy, but he's got more than one of those. That's my anchor system. 2 10-pound plates from the thrift store. And again, it's like, what do you want to do? Alright, so the whole point of this, come fish with me. Website is elliswardflies.com. You can find more information there. You can listen to fishing reports, both from me and from other individuals. Like Matt Riley, who sounds, on that fishing report, he sounds like he's normal. I assure you he is not. That's on the Articulate Fly. I'm not sure if I said that. So come fish with me. It is Thanksgiving, and January and February are starting to, like, I have, you know, probably a half dozen dates or more. And that's nice because I want to do this again for, like advertise for the greatest fishing. I don't know. There's a certain degree of me that has felt, I don't know, when I look back on not advertising more and simultaneously complaining about being so broke. I didn't really complain. I didn't victimize myself. It just, shit was fucking hard, and I was out fishing a lot because that's what I wanted to learn by being out on the water. And yet I wasn't advertising and not having trips, and then seeing other people get trips. And, you know, I was pretty sour grapes about some of the outfitters giving, out of state guys, you know, a bunch of trips when they'd never even fished these waters and X, Y, and Z. It's a different product. I was immature. So yeah, my sort of push to get January and February booked up, because October was, I mean, God, newborn, girlfriend delivered October 20th. I had trips booked, I thought in a responsible way. That was a fucking wild. Everything was normal and getting ultrasounds every week. It's her first kid. Everything's healthy. Weekly ultrasounds. And at 38 weeks, they were like, yeah, you need to go to the hospital. I was just getting done with a trip that day. I had like 5 in a row, and then 1 day off, and then 6 more, and then no more trips for 3 weeks. Well, I guess there's a couple different ways to look at this. One is, as Outcast says, you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. Miss Jackson, 10 times out of 9. So there's a couple different ways to look at it, thousands of ways to kill cats, and it was a lot. Ended up being awesome. Had a day with like some OG whiz, some OG regular clients. Like regular clients when you're guiding on your own. I guess all guiding, but man, I've talked about Brian before, but it's just like, it feels so fucking good. It's not just, oh, I can get groceries, because it really, that was I was fucking broke as shit. It's not just the getting groceries part, it's this, like, I would tie flies on a quote-unquote production level, but like doing orders for Muskie Fool, and shout out Dan, Jen, good folks there. And I'm not great at production tying because I don't focus on being good at it. I'm not gonna make excuses there. It's just like, it takes, fuck it. It takes, I have been good at it. It takes organization and, thoughtful preparation and all this stuff, and a clean workspace. And dude, I'd see black clouds coming over the mountain ridge, and I was like, oh my God. I put my daughter's blackout curtains in my tying room. I know I've said this to so many people, because I see that front coming in, and it's like, oh shit. Well, that bitch isn't going at all. I suspect my battery is dead. Note to self, charge that tonight. All right. 'cause I'm free. Free balling. That basically means that I need to be fishing the frog water. It's kind of a pain in the dick, but that's life. So yeah, a couple of Brian and Bill came and we fished spin gear on the South Holston, and they're both just great anglers. And yeah, Brian found me through purchasing a fly from Musky Pool, and it was just a unique, the Kimbo Slice. I was during excuse the noise here because we have to get my engine started. Right. Brian found me because he got a Kimbo Slice, which was during, that wasn't the greatest design version. And for those of you just listening, I'm going about 80, 85 miles an hour. For those of you watching saying, what? My fish finder's dead because I don't have a battery. Alright, I am gonna fucking fast forward through some of this shit. God damn, it feels good. God damn, it feels good. I really can't fish much up here, but yeah, I mostly want to fish below this. So even though it would be good viewing to run up all that shit, I'm not going to. Yeah-oh. I am retying my chain. Or I should say putting another one on, because so we're gonna end up going back up just a little bit. This is where the trolling motor is. I mean, realistically, I've already told myself that I'm not going to fish without the trolling motor, just because it's like, it's such a pain in the ass. But here we are, aren't we? And the drag chain is so that my boat stays straight. And if you want to be an environmentalist about it, say that it fucks shit up, I'll ask you to look around. God damn, it feels good. I think I'll probably miss those logs up there. It does look like this thing is gonna get nuked. Holy shit, this is fun. I have not fished nearly enough in way too long. That's cool. And this is pretty fast. So this is kind of the most the water that will be the most difficult without the trolling motor. And for those interested in fish, I'm just going to ignore all the tangents I was just on. The cadence of my casting, like here, I'm bringing it over to sort of do a check swing, make sure no one's following, and then shooting line out of my back cast, a little log there. Swinging around, shooting line out of my back cast, and then my hand is directly on it. Shooting line out the back, hold on so I'm not shooting on my forward cast, which becomes key because when you're starting to get into the nooks and crannies, you're guessing when you're shooting line, which you can get good at, but it's just inconsistent because you can't control the slack, and most of the time you're not able to get your left hand tight. All right, we're gonna start the engine again and go fish. I swear to God, just that scratches an itch for me. Everyone ready? Put your seatbelts on. song of the day today is over at Celebrity Over. I can make you a celebrity overnight. Why don't we play something these hoes will like? Something I don't know the words. Anyways, back to the whole point of this being, come fishing with me. Come do this shit. It'll probably look and feel, oh my god, if we have a day like today. It does feel like this thing is about to get fucking nuked. If we have a day like today, that's where you don't want to shoot line. You want to be lasered in. You just gotta stay on your toes. As my boy Butch from Cincinnati would say, just about being a man, Ellis. Now, he would say this in bank shot. Interesting situations. He would show up to work having had a couple beverages the night before. But God, he's such a he was an animal. Hung over his shit. And just, he was a fucking mule. It's that. We had, what a shot. We had the west side and the east side in Cincinnati. And yeah, I grew up on the east side, and you know, that's the privileged, a lot of private schools. You know, you play soccer. Some people played fucking football, but it's like Division 5 or whatever. Really good at lacrosse, obviously. That's the east side. The west side was, you played football. I want a bigger fly. I think, you know? You played football, it's, you know, it's more blue collar. And Butch is from the west side, and it's just that west side strength, that farm strength. Not that I don't know if that's considered racist these days, because he didn't, you know what I'm fucking talking about. He was like my size. I was a beast too, not gonna lie. He had an older brother named Bear who used to beat him with a spatula. And this is like a 6-person landscaping company that my mother owned for a time. My cousin worked there, and in the summers in college, well, throughout I think junior, senior year of high school, after my stint working in the ice cream shop, I kind of want to fish that bank. I would work with my cousin doing hardscapes and shit, and man, that was so fun. I think that I've kind of analyzed and thought about, I'm 6 years sober, and 6.5, I guess, and I've thought about why fly fishing and tying, really, like it's such a part of fishing to me, and I see it so fucking often, where I think people who would otherwise be addicts, but definitely, you know, addicts and recovering whatever, pick your poison, are in the fly community. And then you also see, different side of the same coin, people who have substance abuse problems, and I just wonder, like, what the, you know, that, to steal a psychology term, the dopaminergic, the reward system pathway for tying flies, because it really can be all encompassing for many people. And there was a reason why I thought of that with, God, I want this thing to get fucking nuked. Reason I thought of that with doing hardscapes with Kyle is because you know, you do this thing like working on pavers or whatever, and while you're doing it, it's hard, it's challenging. You know, some of that work, like the paver stuff, it's both mentally and physically demanding. You can't just put it up, like you got to put in base and tamp, and then put in the second round of base and tamp, and you know, your base has to be X, Y, and Z. I remember getting base, which, easy, you fucking addicts. I'm talking about, like, it's sort of gravel, like rough gravel with like a cementy type, it's kind of got a cementy type feel to it. It's like a really, really coarse cement. I remember getting some base and just being like, oh yeah. It's the same thing with getting feathers. You know, in the conventional world, maybe it's, I got some topwater lures that are, oh god, it just looks, but the fly tying thing is like, man, you get, I mean, Whiting American saddles are, you might be able to put a hit out on someone and pay for it. What a shot with Whiting American saddles. An all white, not even nice, an all white American saddle, a dog shit one, could be used as currency in a hit against your family member. One that you would be completely anonymous. Let's get in there. Like, they do everything. Kill them, you know, however you want. Is it gonna be, oh, I drowned playing with a squirt gun, or like, you know, a horrible dismembering. I'm not the sicko. It's whoever is doing this is the one who has problems. You could, the disposal, I think there's probably even some built-in protections around, you know, paying off Johnny Law. All of that could be taken care of with one Whiting American Saddle white. Now, you won't get the insurance package with paying off the fuzz. If you have a grizzly or a dyed yellow, definitely not dyed chartreuse, but you could still get someone iced anonymously, and use a Whiting American hen saddle or a Whiting American rooster saddle for currency. Now here I am switching flies. For those listening, I've opened a box that I got on AmericanPlastic.com, I think. I'm not sure if everyone's boy, my boy, Morgan turned me on to these, or if, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I had an art bin. This thing looks so fucking good in the water. I had an art bin from Michaels. It's a little thing to, you know, hold supplies and shit for art, presumably. And the love, I'm looking through flies. Not that one, not that one, not that one, but maybe this one. And I think I'm maybe drunk. Maybe a big fucking drunk. And I just noticed this is in, there's different stages. Everyone, all tires, everyone, and I'm sure this happens in the conventional world. I started fishing, you know, way, way harder when I got caught up with the fly. As you can tell, that is not the only type of fishing I like to do. But I sort of went through these stages that, having watched enough YouTube, I can tell they're sort of universal. But I do know that the tires of the world, you want to find the thing. You want to find the thing that is going to do it. Whatever the fuck that means, no one ever knows. But you do. You know it then. So you want to find that thing, and on many occasions, you find the thing. And, big shocker, it isn't the thing. But you fucking want it to be. So this was the thing. Hey, if you tied this sex dungeon, message me or something. I found 2 of these on the South Holston, and there's some interesting hallmarks. Deer hair, where you at? Deer hair is not very trimmed, and then there's some ice dub on front, in the front, and crystal flash right there. Looks like some Palmer chenille in the back, and both marabou and some hackle and crystal flash. I mean, I could be picky about finishing with the thread wraps on the eye, but I like seeing different shit. I like, you know, that's a fly that's done a million times over, and the way whoever did that, message me, did it, is different, and that's cool. So I just saw that American Plastics was the one that made, God, I feel like Morgan told me that. Someone did. I can't take credit for that. Okay, I have the peach one in my hand. And then for our other fly, I think I still want to stay big and go real big. Go. I'm looking. I'm looking. I'm looking. I'm going to keep this guy out. We'll keep him in the chamber. We're going to keep him in the chamber. Or her. Or keep them in the chamber. And so getting on to AmericanPlastics.com. Or whatever the fuck it is. And seeing all of these little boxes, you know, for a couple bucks a piece, I was like, oh, dude, this is when I just moved here. And I was so certain that, I mean, this was it. Or at least, it might be it. It definitely was. That I got, I don't fucking know, a big box of them. Like, I didn't have much money, and I just, you know, figured I would fill them up with streamers and sell them, and it would be good for advertising and blah, blah, blah. And I was trying to do too many things and never followed through with it. But I did use them as my own fly bins, and then just using some foam from, at this point I've gotten so many different types of foam for various reasons, and using it for fly boxes or for some mice. You don't want to get the 2mm foam. You want to get you can go on Amazon and get foam for, you know, people to make fucking, I would say pretend lightsabers, but the seems like the individuals making these lightsabers might be offended if I called them pretend, like cosplay stuff. Interesting crossover between fly tying and make-believe activities that may or may not be sexual in nature. Why do I bring that up? I'll tell you. Another thing. When I started doing bucktail, which is going to be available pretty soon, I just picked up a couple hundred. When I started doing bucktail, this is 6 months here after moving, divorce, starting my own business, fucking cat, got surgery. It's like $6,000. I was closing in on the last of my money. I was like, dude, I gotta do it. I gotta save Bill. Gotta save Bill's leg. Oh yeah, that looks good. But yeah, I had met this dude who now runs, I think, Hi Guys, HG Fly Material. Hi Guys. Maybe Hi Guys. Hi Guys. Stone Dudes. Hi guys. Hey guys. Anyways, we met at Lefty Kreh Tie Fest in Maryland, and Morgan did introduce me to him. He came over with. I was there because Richie from District Angling, shout out Richie, was, you know, he'd been pressing me to do Instagram, and I was just like, man, the fucking fly tying egos out there, it's just, he's like, yeah dude, but you have, like, I'm buying your flies. I was so fucking pumped about that. Man, how that started, it's another interesting one. But yeah, Morgan comes up to me with this, like, and you like pastel lime sorbet bucktail, and it was like fluffy. It's like, holy shit, dude. What in God's name? It was like, oh dude, you gotta go talk to this dude. And so I met Ian, and We kind of connected over tying and then some life shit. And after I was here for like a year, he had to do some other shit and wasn't going to be doing bucktail. And so, hold please. Why don't we play something these hoes will like? It's tough when you get a song stuck in your head and you know, I mean, I know a lot of that song, I think, but not really, because when I start singing in my head, I realize that, you know, Trick Daddy's moving hotter than an oven the way that she walked. 106 and pop, a BET rap. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I want to think I do, but I don't. I don't. So that's what's happening in my head while I'm cruising. So I was like, God damn, where the fuck did you get that? And he was like, bruh, you gotta go talk to Ian. And I was like, damn, alright. Trolling motor. Also, me being stupid. Saying I'm only gonna fish slow water. Well, I like the party, so what are you gonna do? You gonna fucking sue me? It's a good lesson in life with the jet boat. Sometimes you want to get very close to where you don't want to be in order to get where you do want to be. Because right on that edge is your jumping off point. If half of the people watching and listening were to stop at that point, I would completely understand. All right, getting pretty messy here. That's okay. I was like, God damn. I was like, bro. I was like, dude. I was like, wow, Morgan, that bucktail looks very nice and unique and full, and I like the color. I was like, bro. So he said, go over and fucking talk to Ian. I was like, alright. So whatever. The thing was Arctic foxtails. And I found a fuck pile of them for cheap. And I was like, dude, they sell this shit for like $5 for a little cut. So I can fucking sell it for half as much, or sell twice as much for $5, and make, you know, $200 off of one of these. And so I got them from a little farm. That was in 2020. There were some changes to the fur market after COVID, that was pretty interesting to experience, have it impact my ability to get bucktail and Arctic foxtail. So fired up the old Google, look up whole Arctic foxtails, and what do you find? Butt plugs. You find butt plugs. You find a lot of Arctic foxtails attached to butt plugs. I mean, that's, so it's you know, people wanting to do their name is like Storm Fox or Lightning Tail, or like something about wood. What's a fox? What's that, cunning? Ooh. Cunnilingus fox? Cunning as a fox. Cunnilingus fox. There is something there, okay? So, oh, ref. That's another trolling motor right there. Yep. Yeah, so you can get all sorts of butt plugs and fly tying materials. I think cosplay is, you know, that's the... Okay. Can I not touch it? I must leave it as it is. You know, I try to think of ways that some of this stuff could be preventable. And unfortunately, the only thing I can think of for this one in particular is have better, newer stuff, and don't be hard on it. So both of those I find to be difficult. because I do not have better, newer stuff, and I am hard on my stuff. So, sometimes we run out of fucking audio. It is really annoying though, because I end up having to do shit. That's not the annoying part. It's just, it doesn't sound good. And even when I do shit, which sure takes time, but it's, you know, this isn't a fucking, I'm not moving fucking bags of cement. It's just, it's another step in the process, but it doesn't end up, it's not good. Quality is not good. And it's because you have to remove background noise and you have to do a bunch of other shit that it takes part of my voice away, which even though I like my voice, even though I hate my voice, even though I fucking hate my voice, even though I hate my voice, even though I maybe we'll just fucking leave that out. Put this shit in my way right there. There we go. Now we're fucking cooking. Did we get to the end of why I found butt plugs? Yeah. What a juicy little spot that is. I think I might start fishing musky flies. There is another spot. There are some other spots I'd like to check. And some of this, you know, this color is from Hurricane Helene depositing a fuck pile of mud. What a shot. Into the bottom of Watauga Lake. So some of this becomes like, you know, do I do this? Do I do that? Based on low water, because it's not really based on low water, because when water is low or I should say when water is muddy, you have loss of light penetration. So it becomes a very different animal. Fishing low and clear is vastly different than fishing like borderline opaque at the same exact level. And there's, you know, I've seen some risers, so they can see. They should want to eat. You know, part of fishing and doing a podcast, which I'm pretty excited that I'm calling it Fishing Adjacent, which I wanted to call it something really stupid like talking about fishing but mostly about other stuff. And I kept thinking, like, what is a synonym for near, kind of close to something, but, you know, it's similar but not the, And then I ended up looking up fishing adjacent just to see if anyone else had, for whatever reason, decided to create a podcast called that. Or if there was, you know, a serial killer who went by that name. Or a fucking bakery, whatever you want. And I saw the definition, which is property or an area that is sort of near a river, like it's adjacent to where you might be able to fish. I was like, damn, that's actually pretty appropriate. I did use AI to create the little logo, but hey man, I'm trying to do shit, trying to get shit done, and hopefully, not hopefully, I'll get, ladies and gentlemen, this kid is playing like he has a laser guided 12 decimal lat longe GPS attached to the fly and connected to his brain. Yeah, I mean, you just know that's gonna happen, and it's not an easy one. You gotta go for it, you know, when you're talking shit like that, because the upside, whew, that's where the glory is. That's why you can't be afraid to fuck up and embarrass yourself, because there is upside. I mean, a lot of the times with my own fishing, the upside is getting a cast like near something that I want it to be near, and the downside is like possibly crashing my boat and breaking rods and threatening my livelihood. So there is, every once in a while, you should concern yourself with the risk reward in life. But look, I'm not your fucking mom, so make your own decisions. Everyone, you're all big boys and girls, so you can do it, I promise. Look at me deflecting. That's not deflection, you're deflecting. I'm not the one with the problem, you are. So I will get commission someone to do some sort of logo, and my intention is to do a bunch of stuff with me and Jack, with Jack and me, both tying and fishing, and then maybe do some stuff with clients too, and have people pay me to tell them what they're doing wrong while they partake in both advertising and monetizing in a different way via a podcast. So if you want to call that anything other than a good old-fashioned American dream, that would be completely understandable. Now, I do have Fishing Bart the next 3 days. I do have a good set of regular clients that, man, 4 or 5 years, if anyone out there is, I think, doing anything, be it guiding or tying or, you know, farming, textile manufacturing. Well, if you're doing textile manufacturing or farming, you're kind of fucked. It just, keep doing what you want to do. Stay true to the thing that you're doing that made you say, fuck the rest of this shit, I'm going to do this. You got to keep doing that. And, you know, take money along the way. Don't be fucking stubborn. Be open to maybe that thing not actually being what you ended up wanting it to be, but this has ended up being what I want it to be, guiding, and doing so in a way that looks and feels maybe a little different, maybe a little more challenging, but is, you know, the more I talk about it with tap, 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 I swear to God, I fucking move. Yeah, we're just gonna end up going with the GoPro audio, I think, and that's okay. Boy. That sure is annoying, though. It's like, just let me fucking... I'm trying to connect my Rode microphone. And... so now, all of a sudden, it wants to connect. But, like, any movement at all, and it stops working, as it has now. Damn it. Alright, we're gonna give this another college try. Oh. The old college try. Yeah, I want it to be something that I can fix by, you know, bending or you know, pressing harder or softer. It kind of feels like that's what it is. But then again, I don't know. See, because that type of thing makes me think that it is. And in fairness to my phone, I will say that it was on the bottom of the river, and that isn't a good place for a phone to be. So, you know, we're probably also going to arrive at a nice happy medium. I don't know, it might be condition dependent with when I'm fishing and also trying to record. Because right now it's like the fishing takes such a brutal hit. Because I'm trying to do other stuff. But we just, you gotta keep on keeping on. You know what I'm saying? Keep trucking. Was that your senior quote? Was it? Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed because it was. Be embarrassed because of the person who you are. Don't be embarrassed about the choices you make. Be embarrassed about the type of person you are. Be embarrassed about being the type of person who makes those decisions. That's the lesson learned for everyone here today. Is you should never be embarrassed to be who you are. You should, however, be embarrassed to be the type of person who makes the decisions that you make on a repeated basis, despite so much evidence telling you that you shouldn't make these decisions. Don't do that. And then what do? That. So don't be embarrassed to be who you are. Be embarrassed to act how you act. And potentially speak how you speak. And be embarrassed to know the people that you know. And be embarrassed about the type of person you are, not who you are. Does that make sense? Oh, good gravy. Come on out. Come on out. Come on out now. This is going to be Steve Perry and the Big Units. I don't know. That's from basketball. Steve Perry. Which, when I saw... Oh, come on, dude. That looks so fucking good. When I saw that movie, God, I was probably, 12. I was thinking it was Matthew Perry. I should say the late Matthew Perry. So I feel like Steve Perry is from... I could have looked that up in the last 20 years. But I didn't. Yeah, I feel like Steve Perry is a musician of some sort. But I don't know. My stepdogs, my girlfriend's dogs got out. And I surfaced this with Jack. But I'm revisiting it. What a shot. Dude, there should be a fucking unit chasing that. Surfaced barely with Jack. It's worth revisiting because, not only was it fucked, but also, so the dogs got out and I was finishing up recording my podcast with Marv. My daughter was not going to bed. I was quite frustrated. I went out to the workshop. Girlfriend came out. She's like, where are the dogs? I had built a fence in the back. I'd heard them res their 2 German Shepherds, and they fucking broke through the back part of the fence, and so I felt pretty responsible, even though, we've been there 6 months, and they're just savages. And it's like chicken wire fence, and you bend that enough and the things start to come apart. So I think they were slow rolling me, They would just go, oh, we're just wrestling a little bit here and there. But, it's the same thing as the movies where the folks in prison just slowly chip away a little bit take a little more, another little spoon, or like they grind down a spork to chip away at the wall. And slowly but surely, they finally get there. So I was up fucking late. She was all, you know, they're in drive mode and they can't, you know, they're not gonna come home and blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, fuck that. Which I'm not saying I'm right, but it is my perspective. Which I do think is right. That if they're, she's like, yeah, I mean, they're going to hear you, but it doesn't mean anything to them because they're in their fucking, you know, they're in their zone. I was like, yeah, but tell me that it is a 0.0 chance they hear me and they don't come. Or said another way, tell me, I didn't sit there, I wasn't sitting there saying, okay, said another way. I said, tell me it's non-zero, or it is non-zero. Is that right? Tell me I'm wrong. It's non-zero, right? There is a non-zero chance they hear me and come. She said, yeah, it is non-zero. It's just, it's pretty close to zero. And I was like, well, I'm fucking taking the non-zero. I'm taking it every fucking time. Whatever. I mean, they didn't come. But the older one was on the back porch in the morning. And God, I don't want to slow down that much. So I'm taking a couple pieces of chain off, but not all of it. So the older one was on the back porch in the morning. The juicy little fucking, whatever you want to call it. It's a juicy little variation right there in that structure. Big one was on the back porch. Ended up getting the little one, or, you know, the fucking 65-pound German Shepherd. The younger one got her a couple doors down the next morning, or, you know, later that morning. And happened to be a house that I was walking by, fucking yelling, and in the backyard. I'm not saying it was me, but it was. No, it's because she signed up for Nextdoor. Dude, the dog. So it's definitely, the younger one is like a homebody. She is, if she doesn't get human affection, like regularly, not just, you know, on a weekly basis, on an hourly basis, she gets fucking, she's very cute. So, but it's the other one. It's definitely the other one that fucking ran off, and the younger one followed. And so this is like an older brother, or, you know, your cousin who's home from college, and you're a senior in high school, and you go out to a house party with them, and, you know, he's telling you that we're going here, let's go there, you're doing beer bongs, maybe someone has a joint, there's some lines, I'm not even sure what, now you're doing ketamine, and then you wake up in your front yard, and your cousin's been home for 2 hours, and he's like, I don't know what Phil was doing, he was with me at the party, and like, dude, you were just doing ketamine. It's your fault that I'm impressionable. So the older black dog's laying on the porch. I just see these ears sticking up. And like, those are my girlfriend's fucking kids. I mean, not. She actually has a son now that's also mine. But those are her babies. And so like, and you know, they kind of turn into my babies too. And so it was not a good situation. And I come out My daughter, of course, had gotten up before me, came in, woke me up. Okay, can you just go watch TV? I'll be out in a little bit. Came out like 10 minutes later. She's just watching TV. And I see these two black ears sticking up. Dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, we were prepared for them to be gone. She smelled, she must have put her nose like in the den of a skunk. And I don't know, possibly was like munching on it while it was spraying. She still smells. It's been 2 weeks. She's had like 4 baths. I got special shampoo. Oh my God, those first couple days were so bad. You smell skunk like, through your car window. That's one thing. When you fucking, Jesus, dude, I don't know how she's fucking surviving. She's a dog. When there's that much of it, like, condensed, it is fucking insane. It's like the air is sour. And it's not like onions where it like burns in a sense. But there is this like there's a physical feeling that comes with it. It's not just olfactory. It's not just the smell of it. It is, when it's that potent. I'm guessing there's an idiot or two out there. Maybe you're smart and you got skunked. I just don't know how that's. I don't know. I'm sure there's someone out there who has the personal experience of being skunked. I never have. That's the most I've ever smelled it, the most potent I've ever smelled it, and wow. Dude. Rough. All right, well, I didn't catch any fish. I am still going to fish more, but I'm fucking exhausted, and I'll save some steam for next time. So come fish with me. January, February, March, early March. There's a couple weeks there that we'll be fishing muskie. Come fish muskie with me fucking now. I'm doing trout tomorrow and muskie the next 2 days. And muskie runs through January, February, March, April. Really, it's very few and far between where it's when they're spawning that we're not fishing for them. But even I'm in the south, like even in like August in low water, it's the highest recorded temperature I've seen on my boat in lower sections of the upper reaches was 76, and most of the time it's like 72, 73. So it's pretty rare that we're seeing, I don't like 76. It's pretty rare that we're seeing high temperatures. Temperatures beyond the low 70s. So yeah, hit me up. Go get skunked, I guess. See you out there. We're going to cut to that departure when I actually stop. I just realized that I still have sound and am appreciating that that the first half of this might not actually have anything workable because of GoPro and wind and other stuff. So we're just going to keep going with this right now until either the sound cuts out or who knows, maybe I catch a hog. I was going to do something, you know, the name of the podcast. Just thinking Zach Galifianakis, Between Two Ferns. That's that swim bug. So Between Two Hogs. Oh yeah, dude. We got some. God, this thing looks good. Fuck yeah. That just gasses me up. And you know, same with the tackle box from the dude at the Waste convenience store. There's a little free trick. Get your drag chain and you fucking put it over there. Yeah, just seeing people, experiencing people being nice is, of course, that'll make you feel good, but seeing people do cool stuff, you definitely like to do that. It's good for you. It's good for the soul. That's another, like, if you don't think that ripping around on a quad, and again, even though I'm 6 years sober, the fact that he's got a tall boy, sure, there's like responsibility implications and other things of that nature, but that is so cool. Do I want to do that? Not necessarily. I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing. Pretty happy with my life choices. Do I think that is very cool, objectively? Yep. Oh my God, if he had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, I might have swam over there and just fucking begged him to be my friend. Dude, please. Talk to me. Don't even talk to me. Just let me tell other people. You don't even have to know my name. Let me tell other people that you're my friend. And give them $20. I guess which type of cigarette it was would be, any would do. Any would get the job done. The job of being cool. But yeah, I think, dude, a Marlboro Light, that'd be pretty fucking cool. Parliament Light, now we're talking about a different person. Marlboro Red, it's a little try hard and quite frankly pretty irresponsible these days. That reminds me, I haven't had nicotine in a hot minute. Which is exciting for me. That's exciting. I do like to remember, oh yeah, I have like at a minimum 5 to 6 nicotine distribution vehicles at all times. And the one I want I'd like to find some, I don't know if it's synthetic nicotine, but I'd like to find some addictive chemical. Oh, I have it. It's on my person. In the pouch form. Why don't we play something these hoes will like? Twister, you told him right. I can make you a celebrity overnight. 106 and Park. It's just that. In good news, it's at least like a rap song that I listen to. Because oftentimes it is the theme song to a show that my daughter watches. Man, there was a hot minute. Way hotter than the minute that just elapsed where I didn't have nicotine. This minute was like weeks. I'm not fucking exaggerating. Where I had puppy dog pals stuck in my head. Yeah, the wind with the no trolling motor, with the fly fishing is insane. Why don't we play something these hoes will like? I'm just gonna make it. I mean, I'm not catching anything over there anyhow, so. May as well just fish into the abyss. The fuck was I talking about? I'm always interested in what's going on behind the eyes of folks at the gas station. It seems like maybe where my general life experiences might add some color to this. And I'm sort of talking this out, like, why am I so interested about that? Because I live in Johnson City, and I need to get off this flat. I had lived in D.C. I grew up in Cincinnati, nice suburb. So the individuals that I would see at gas stations in Arlington, Virginia, Cincinnati, Ohio, and school in Nashville, Tennessee, which Nashville has, same with Cincinnati. It's just, the areas, right? If you go to the Shell on Beachmont at 2 o'clock in the morning in Cincinnati off of 275, you fucking know what you're gonna get. There's no secret there. No surprises. Well, everything's sort of a surprise. It's shocking. I wouldn't say it's a surprise. So here, I think it's interesting because that's everywhere. It's like, now it's not like I live in a super nice part of town. It's not like everywhere is some fucking picture of Appalachia out of a magazine, but you know, I don't live in the suburbs or in one of the subdivisions. There's actually, it's kind of weird how there's these pockets of subdivisions, even in a small city. It makes sense, but it was sort of surprising. So I guess, you know, when you see a dude riding his bike in circles, one-handed, playing the guitar with the other hand, it's like, at the same time, one can wonder what's going on behind the eyes there, and also one might be able to say with a certain degree of certainty, there's not much going on behind the eye. Like, that's riding a bike in circles without a shirt on and also playing a broken guitar at a gas station at 2 o'clock in the morning. Honestly, there doesn't need to be more going on behind the eyes. That's a fucking lot. I couldn't do it. Yeah, we're getting ripped apart by this wind here, folks. So we're gonna put a couple more pieces of chain here. And for anyone interested, like, you're advertising for guiding and not catching fish. It's like, well, yeah, see, I wouldn't be doing this on a trip. I actually came out here to do this in particular, and also to run the jet boat, because it's been a couple weeks and temperatures are getting cold, and I hadn't disconnected the fuel line, and I needed to get out of my fucking house. But you might say, why would you not catch fish and seem like such a fucking psychopath if the intent is to get people to pay you to be on a boat, presumably trapped on a river about which they know nothing, in an area that you have described with examples of meth users riding around bicycles like some sort of creepy start to a horror movie. I would say, because I want to fish with those people, the people that like what I just described, that's who I want to fish with. And yes, I will take money from other people. And speaking very honestly, try just as hard with them. But I know there's enough of the folks that like cool shit. Not that meth and, you know, as I say it, not that meth and riding around bikes at 2 in the morning, one-handed playing guitars is cool. But, like, I'm saying that, and I'm like, there's a part of me that it says, well, actually, that seems pretty cool. Bald eagle up there. Okay, now the second camera has died. or the second battery has died, that is when we catch fish. Almost guaranteed. So is meth cool? No. Is it not cool? Is it definitively not cool? I'll leave you with that. Why don't you think on that, everyone? See you next time.